into thin air. It's another day. It's 9/3/2017. I have you here once again on VENTUSKY. We're checking out the latest data on Hurricane Irma and what's to follow, which was not and is not fun to look at, but well, let's get into it. Anyway, so I have you set here for, actually let's go back to Sunday. This would be current models, 8 a.m. Anything after this is a prediction. Move you till Monday. Here's Tuesday, Wednesday. Now here is where I feel is the new critical point. Between the 5th and 6th, and possibly into the 7th, we're going to see whether this thing dips below Santo Domingo. If it does, chances are we're looking at another Gulf hurricane. I seriously hope not. I hope it doesn't go north. I hope it doesn't go south. I want this thing to just disappear. Let's be very clear on that first. But anyway, guys, so like I said, between the 6th and 7th, maybe between the 5th and 6th, we're going to see this thing make a decision. Now, I want to make something clear. I have this set on 1,500 meters. I'm aware that the wind speed higher off the ground is stronger. We're looking at 160, even higher. If I were to zoom in, I could probably find higher numbers. Now, I'm aware that's not ground speed winds, so why I look at that is because it gives me a better idea of the winds that are around this hurricane, and that helps me determine what direction it's going to go. I want you to notice that this entire area, it looks like a whirlpool. Alright, now picture this. Cape Verde off the the western coast of South Africa, these are where these hurricanes are formed. And they're formed here, and they get shot out in this direction. Now if you notice the winds coming up in the southern hemisphere, northern hemisphere, it almost forms like this invisible line. So these hurricanes, they'll ride this line, and that's why when you watch your Weather Channel and stuff, right here is always a critical point, because this is when it turns up north, or if it wants to go straight, this is where it's going to determine the angle, and this is where Florida needs to watch. As of right now, this model has this thing going right into North and South Carolina. Now, those of you that have been following me, you notice that this thing has been changing dramatically every day, and that's because after 5 days, the model is almost a coin toss. Now, like I said, I base my opinions on these wind patterns and as they change. Right now, I am still saying that this thing is going to ride up the East Coast, and depending on the angle it takes, a closer angle, it could be something that hits into the Florida, North, South Carolina, Virginia, and goes inland, or depending on the winds at the time closer to landfall, it might spin it back out to sea. Or if it takes this shallow angle up this way, we're looking at our original prediction of a New York landfall, and still within the dates of 9/11, maybe 9/12. I never gave this date as specific landfall. I just wanted everyone to be aware, and I still want people to be aware of this, because these winds are changing every day. A big determining factor is how low the lows in the US are too. The more western the dip is, the closer to the coast this hurricane will be. The farther to the west the dip is, the better chance it has of whipping out into the sea. So keep those basic ideas in your mind. I want to point out a website to you guys too, hurricanescience.org. If you go to this actual link, I'll highlight it for you, I'll put this in the description box. This website I found gives the most basic understanding of hurricanes and how they travel and how winds affect them. Many factors come into play, but we always see common paths. That's why when you look at the spaghetti models, again, I'm sure BP Earthwatch will come out and show you tons of spaghetti models that show what determines whether it goes up the coast or if it goes into the Gulf or what exactly happens. More and more as I watch this, I'm still convinced this thing's going up the East Coast. And I will be following it. I will be keeping you guys updated. I want to try every 8 hours at least to give you an update. So anyway, let's finish with our current pattern of what it has. Here's Thursday, Friday. Now, after Friday, it has this thing north of Santo Domingo. After this point, like I said, coin toss, but everyone on the East Coast needs to be aware of this storm. Here's Saturday. Here's the 10th. Now again, 1,500 meters, these wind speeds are not surface temperatures, or surface wind speeds, I'm sorry. 165, geez Louise, alright, let's switch this. So these would be estimated ground wind speed at this time. We're looking at 130, guys. This is no joke. The storm is not a joke. Here's the 11th. This is when I had my prediction of it being in New York. Still very possible. This thing switched about 500 miles overnight where landfall would be. And here's the 12th. So as of right now, this map has this thing making landfall between North and South Carolina on between the 10th and 11th. Probably closer to the 11th. This is going to change today, I'm just letting you know. Also, guys, let's not forget this. Let's go back to the 8th. Okay, so we have this here. Jose is also in here. It's still a little early to determine how strong Jose is going to be. Jose is predicted to be south of Santo Domingo, while Irma is north. So basically they're saying if this hurricane rides up the east coast, they're expecting Jose, if it develops into a hurricane, to be the more southern storm. I also want you to notice in the 11th, we have Jose here. Here's another storm forming off Cape Verde again. Wow. Sorry guys, I'm just looking at this now with you live. So yeah, so basically it's like this reoccurring system going on. These hurricanes are forming, they're being sent out, and boom, it's just like a big giant circle. Very interesting stuff, guys. Let me zoom in a little for you. Take a look at some of these areas now in warning zones. I want to say Cape Fear, Clinton, I think Jacksonville's in here. Laurinburg is in here. And now remember, at this time yesterday, guys, landfall was about right here, Chesapeake Bay. So we went from New York landfall 9/11, Chesapeake Bay 9/11. Now we're at the border of North and South Carolina. Wow. And again, guys, if you guys are following my channel, I want you to focus when you go into this map. Bring up your 1500 meters, okay? And you get a better idea of what's going to be going on in this part of the country. The farther this dips down and the more west it is, the better chance we have of this thing touching the coast, rolling off into the ocean, okay? The farther west this low is, the better chance this has of riding the coast. And that's what we got right now, guys. This is our new update. And again, here's Jose, and here's the third storm, which could very well develop into a hurricane. It's a hurricane season. That's what happens. That's some crazy stuff. Also, guys, I'm going to be making another video later on. There was a big earthquake caused by North Korea nuclear test, and I also just wanted to show you guys that this is not new. Here's an article from September 2016. It seems to be a reoccurring thing in September that these guys do this, but North Korea nuclear test may be its largest ever. Down in this article they talk about some of the seismic readings they got from these things, so this is a common theme every September, it seems. Here's another one from September 10th, 2016. North Korea claims successful test of nuclear warhead. September. So anyway, those are just some articles you could check out. These are current ones from this September. And guys, yeah, here we go. We're getting down to crunch time. Like I said, between the 5th, 6th, and 7th are critical times for this hurricane and where it's going to go. And by that time, we're going to have a much better idea on Jose and this third storm coming off the Cape Verde. Alright guys, I really appreciate all of you sticking with me. So many kind words down in the comment section. You guys have no idea what that means to me. I'm just here to try to help people, that's all. I say this over and over again, but after Hurricane Harvey, should have been sooner, but after Hurricane Harvey, I've promised myself I will never let a storm go without studying it and watching it, and I figured I want to share it with you guys. So that's it for now. I'll update you later on in the day, and everyone have a great day, have a safe weekend, try to stay out of the rain. Thank you very much, guys. Bye-bye.